Hi Flosstube, welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. I started cross stitching about a year ago and I don't know anyone who cross stitches, so I started out by watching tutorials on YouTube, and naturally that led me to Flosstube and the Flosstube community, and that really just opened my eyes to the possibilities of this hobby. So I just wanted to get on and make a Flosstube video of my own, and I feel kind of silly, so I'm just gonna get right into the cross stitch. So my first project was a kit that I ordered off of Amazon, and once I started it, I knew I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do bigger, better projects, so I got kind of neglected and I never finished it. So I've been working on it recently to try to finish it. It's this sunflower kit, and it's a stamped kit, which is good in some ways, and it's not quite as fun. It's not the same, I think, as doing other projects. So I'll show you where I'm at. So here it is. You can see in the bottom corner down there, that's where the stamp is, and I haven't finished it yet, and I have a bunch of threads parked there because right now, if I have a chance to cross stitch like in the car, I'll take this with me because I don't have a pattern. You just stitch right on the stamped area. And then one of the reasons that I picked this particular pattern is because it has the smallest amount of backstitch in the bees, and I wanted to try that out before I did something more ambitious. And I think they're cute. I mean, it's a really small amount of backstitch, so I didn't mind doing it. I'm a little confused about how to do it, so I'm gonna have on a blackwork project. So I'm gonna have to watch some more tutorials on that, mostly because the back is crazy. I'll show you the back here. But you can see on the little bee there, it's all over the place. So I'm gonna have to watch some tutorials on how to do black work with a neater back, I think, before I start a bigger project of that. So that was my first project, and as I said, I was watching Flosstube, so I decided that I could do a heaven and earth design, because it was just X's. But then I went on their website and saw the scale of those projects, so I thought I would start a different full coverage project first, which I did. I got this one. I can't remember if it's 1, 2, 3 stitch or I'm not sure. Maybe it was from the Artisy website, but I got this full coverage project from Artisy, and this is the only project that I've posted on the internet. I've posted on Reddit a couple of times, and that's been the extent of how I've shared my cross stitch hobby. But I did post this one, and I'll show you my progress. Again, I have a lot of parked threads, so I'm sorry if that bothers you. It's a little messy. So there I am on that. And for this one, because it was my first real project off of a pattern, I started doing the top as like cross country by thread length. So I would start a color and then just do it till the thread ran out, and that's how I did the top 3 pages. And then I started doing the parking method in diagonals down here on the second row of pages. And I enjoy doing this a lot. The parking method, it keeps it really sort of tidy and in order, and I don't make a lot of mistakes that way. But there is a downside. You want to see the back. So up here you can see, as a brand new stitcher, there's some mistakes and knots and that kind of thing. But there's still a lot of white space. And then when you get down to the part that has where I started parking, it's a tangled mess. So if that bothers you, then the parking method is probably not for you, but I like it, and this doesn't bother me that much. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. So then of course, I got through a couple of pages on this one and thought I was ready for a heaven and earth design. So that's what I did. And I'm sorry I don't have a better picture of this one. If I make another video, I'll get a better picture. But this is Mini Birdsong by Tatiana Fedorova, and it's a mini, which means that it's the scale is smaller, so there's less detail, but for me that makes it attainable, because otherwise it's already going to take me years to finish it. So the mini is a good size for me. Here's my progress so far. So when I started this is when I started the parking method, and then I picked the Fright Night back up and tried the method with that one, and I liked it, so I've still been doing it that way. So that's how far I've gotten. And then I also started doing some of the blue over here because the first page of this pattern is almost entirely sky. So I decided I should get going on that, and I have part threads there. Sorry about that. And then again, the back is just a mess. Oh, and I should probably talk about this one and Fright Night are on Q-snaps, but I'm only using the top and the bottom pieces, and I'm using it kind of like a scroll frame, I guess. Yeah, I saw a lady doing this on YouTube. I can't remember her name. Maybe I'll try to find it and put it in the description. But this is just, it's so much easier to hold, and I don't need a stand for it. So that is mini Birdsong. So at that point I had my sunflowers and I had 2 full coverage projects. I decided I should do something that's a little more traditional cross stitch. So I bought a dimensions kit. I got this one, it's called Winter Cardinals. Let's see. And this is where I'm at on this one. So, like I said, I was interested in learning how to backstitch. So this pattern has, I think, a lot of backstitch in it, more than my full coverage pieces. So my goal is still to finish the cardinal and all of the threads that touch up against the cardinal, and then I'm going to backstitch her. And then I'll go on and do the other branches, and I'll probably do the male cardinal last, or close to the end. So there's a couple of things that I changed on this one. Not a lot, and you probably can't see here. This snow calls for 5 threads of white, and I did 4 threads of white and 1 length of blending filament. It's this one. Can you see? I don't know. It makes it just like a little bit shiny, but again, you probably are not going to see it on the camera there. And then the other change that I made, or small adjustment, so one of the reasons I hesitated to get this pattern is because the backstitch, especially around the birds, has kind of a sketchy look to it, where it's not like right up against the threads. There's kind of like little gaps in there, and I didn't really care for that look. So what I tried to do, and I haven't backstitched yet, so we'll see, I did some fractional stitches along the back and the tail to try to just smooth out those edges so that when I do backstitch it'll be a smoother line. So we'll see how that goes. I am almost ready to backstitch, so we should know soon. So anyway, that's Winter Cardinals. And then, I don't know why, I just decided that I could have a 5th project because 5 is a nice number. So I went ahead and I started Spirit of Christmas by Lavender and Lace. This is this one. And you might have guessed, I was inspired by Stephanie, Miss OhSewCrafty, to do this. So thank you, Stephanie, for that. And I'm not very far on this one. Let's see. I started it just last month. So there's my progress. Yeah, those are my whips. I have 5 of them. And I think that's a good number for now, just because I want to keep working on them. I do have my next project kitted up because I want to finish those sunflowers and do something with them. So my goal is to finish those and then start my next project, which is going to be, I don't know if I'm gonna, Horn of Plenty from Just Cross Stitch magazine. I picked this up on one of the Stash Unload Facebook groups. Those groups, man. I actually removed myself from them because I had ordered so many magazines that I'm probably not going to stitch the stuff in them. I removed myself from the group, and I actually just added myself again this last week because I couldn't go without knowing what's out there. You know, it's part of it's the hunt, finding things that interest you. So anyway, that'll be my next start. So if I do record another Flosstube video, I might have something interesting to show you that's different from this time. I really don't have a ton of time to cross stitch, so I'm not sure how frequently I can record and actually have things to show you. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Like I said, I feel kind of silly, so you know, if I do another one, maybe it'll get easier and I'll have more things to share with you. So thanks for watching, and happy stitching. Bye.